Presentation from the head of the SCANEX, our head of Integrated Projects Department of SCANEX R&D Center from Russia, I.Farutin.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги. Хотелось бы прежде всего поблагодарить.
Hello, first of all, let me thank the organizers of this wonderful conference for the opportunity to make a presentation, and I would like to thank you all for sticking around that long. You know, I decided that I'm not going to show any projects to you, even though since last conference a lot of changes have taken place technologically. We have new data sources, new software, new services, but I'll try to keep it as light as I can, just to show you the new stuff that we have. First of all, let me report on the launch of operational work with Spot 6. You know that with Astrium we have a long-standing relationship and partnership. This satellite has a resolution close to very high, but the price is still at high resolution. Incredible, phenomenal acquisition rate, 3 million per day. I will show you later what that implies. I will not speak a lot about specifications. I think everybody knows about them. 1.5 meters and 6 meters dynamic range of 12 bits and 60 kilometer of swath as its predecessors. A few examples to see what level of detail it provides. What's the difference between us and the others? We started working with Spot 6 based on exclusive agreement. We do the planning. The operator gives a task to the satellite, and then the images are downlinked to our receiving station, which considerably reduced the price. It's 20-30 times less than you would buy even from the operator. Well, you know how this model works. We purchase a license and then we are free to break it down as much as we can. For this satellite, unlike Spot 5, based on agreement with Astrium, we developed a pre-processing software with their assistance. In general, these are all our terminals, and in the future we're planning to re-equip stations located in different universities with them. Now, about productivity or data acquisition, the entire imaging season covers our orders. You can see some cloudless images here. Even if we take areas that are difficult meteorologically, like Mao, for example. Mao has always been a challenging area because there are very few cloudless days in a year there, and you have to take images from every pass of the satellite. But thanks to phenomenal productivity, it took us only 2 months to cover this entire region cloud-free. Also, we started to make mosaic coverage. This is Moscow before stitching, then stitched mosaic. All of that goes through author correction. Also, they are referenced to control points, and that gives a very good accuracy and resolution close to very high. These mosaics have been done by us voluntarily, but in fact you can apply for them and send in a request. Also, let me tell you that the acquisition rate of Astrium for satellite constellation will be incredible. We're talking about 4 satellites that will allow covering each spot on Earth twice a day from different units. And the overall productivity will be about 8 million square kilometers a day. 3 million kilometers from spots and the others from Pleiades. Also, I'd like to make a note of COMPSAT South Korean constellation. In fact, we were quite skeptical about cooperating with them in the beginning, having tried data from COMPSAT-2, but they gave us very poor data, I must tell you. But when they said, why don't you try COMPSAT-3 for a change? For a while we hesitated, but then they gave us some of the samples, and to tell you the truth, we kind of got high on that. But I'll start with the disadvantage. There's only one disadvantage. If you need good accuracy, without GCPs, there is no need to use it. It has great geometry. We didn't make any detailed tests. We just did an image that went askew 40 meters. Then we provided it with ground control points, and that immediately put accuracy back in the right place. And the cost of data is twice as less as the others, with resolution 70 centimeters in pan-chrome and multispectral 2.8 meters. This is the first super high detail satellite with dynamic range of 14 bits. So it gives you additional grades, additional details. Also, it has very good, it flies at daytime, which is great. This is Gelendzhik image, a couple of Olympic sites in Sochi. Another disadvantage of COMPSAT-3 is lack of archive. Since this is a relatively new, totally new satellite, there is no archiving yet. But once again, the price is 30% less than what you can get from the archived images from other companies. So this is a revival of South Korean constellation. Also, a month ago, a radar satellite was launched with resolution up to 1 meter. This may be interesting because of phasing out of radar Sat 1, which was the most accessible, I suppose, for various applications. At the moment, this one goes through flight testing, but we are in anticipation of using it. Next year, they're planning to launch COMPSAT-3A, which is almost ready to go in orbit. We're talking half a meter data, but once again, we have to do some testing. So this Korean constellation, in our opinion, is a company that can hope to top many other players. And they're very liberal with the prices. I mean, you can use this data without any problem. So these are expected parameters for COMPSAT-3A. There will be 14-bit dynamic range, and the average, there will be medium infrared channel, something that no other satellites are planning to have. This will be mostly near, but not medium infrared. That's all that I have about new satellites. Now, I think many of you have heard about this service, but I'll just give you a little more detail. This is a service that we created to rent satellite data. Even though remote sensing data makes it cheaper to carry out various tasks, it is still quite expensive for many users. Sometimes you need a one-off task, and the cadastral engineers who must use the coordinate framework under the guidelines of the Ministry of Economy. So for them, it's quite expensive to buy this routinely for small tasks. Over the years of operation, SCANEX has amassed colossal archives year to year. This is, I'm talking cloud-free images. We also signed contracts. Well, we purchased 50 million square kilometers from Iconos. We're talking an area 3 times as big as Russia. And the contract with Rosregister was completed, and we covered the entire territory of Russia with 0.5 meter resolution. We're still in post-warranty period, and any areas where there was some snow or cover, I'm talking 10%, we'll have to redo it. So having accumulated this enormous archive, we decided we need to find a way to be more flexible, to share it with others. So it came to us that we might rent, or rather let others rent. What does it mean? Why do we do it in the first place? First of all, this, for people who are not engaged in remote sensing, this makes the procedure much easier. We reach this by using OGC standards. Plus, if the software is unable to do it, we develop special plugins. Then all the data which comes from this service has gone through preliminary orthocorrection, and this is much cheaper, and it's 10% of the commercial price. For super high resolution images, we're talking of a discount of more than $1 per square kilometer. It's very easy. A person goes through registration, logs in. A person is assigned a key. How does it work? You enter the interface. You open the service window. You see all the data available there. You sign a service user contract. It's like a user fee. You put some money on your account and you say, I want this image. And some money is debited from your account, $10 or $5, and this image becomes available to you. How does it work? You upload VMS layer with your identifier. Let's say we have Quantum.js. After all the images accessible to you have been read, you can even reproject it to the client customer side. Then it gets loaded, and there is no need to make any extra effort. You cannot save it. That is the only difference. That's the whole purpose of renting it. But you can process it, deal with it any way you want, but no saving. Many users who work using Credo or Sapro, whenever we went to exhibitions and fairs, they keep saying that it is vital for them to use satellite space images for them. And they use Credo. And it was very surprising to us that those software programs cannot open up images. That was the challenge. So we decided to develop a plugin for this software to load the necessary data. The access key is entered, and then the image pops up on the screen. On the customer side, you can use ground control points to do transformation on the customer side. They compute accuracy based on ground control points. And again, you are free to work with this image. For the same, we did the same with AutoCAD. In a raw version of AutoCAD, there were no plugins that could load the images, but we fixed that. You can see the framework, which allows doing manipulation with image any way you want. But designing it, anything based on space images may not be the best idea. So from this point forward, you can use AutoCAD and all of its features. And in the end, just a few words that next week, during our conference, we will launch a new version of our software. We made a switch to 64-bit architecture. We now support all new satellites, Pleiades, Spots, Canopus. Please feel free. We will give you a demo to try it on for size. That's all I have, I suppose. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? Mr. Kuznetsov from Earth Monitoring Center. When SCANEX buys licenses to receive and process data, how do you contribute to planning process? How does the planning process go? I see. Thank you. Of course, we do not program the satellite, but our license agreement stipulates a certain procedure pertaining to tasking and how we can distribute scans for each satellite pass. So the operator has to accept that and perform that. So we can say tomorrow you must image a certain area, and they will do it. So you do contribute to the tasking process. Well, we contribute to it as much as we can. We're responsible for this area. 80% of... We have exclusive rights to use satellites that cover Russia. The second question, if I may. What is the share? What's the percentage of cloud information that your receiving stations receive? We can, well, at the top of my head, I can say it's 50%. During planning, if it's for the ministry, if it's emergency, we just don't, we disregard cloud cover simply to get quickly the images. In general, we rely on the weather forecasts, but we try to, well, we look at positive, negative, and neutral forecast. We try to acquire data during neutral weather conditions or positive meteorological assessments. And my final question. During, in the context of this phenomenal productivity, as you said, what percentage can you do for Russia per day? In one day, What's the percentage in one day? You say 3 million square kilometers a day. How much of that is for Russia? Okay, spot 6. It takes 20 minutes per pass. So we can use 20 minutes, all of that, use it up, all for Russia. We have the right, but in actuality we will be acquiring data as long as we need. Well, sometimes it's impossible to acquire data for Russia because of adverse meteorological conditions. I mean, this 3 million square kilometers. You are talking about criteria that are beyond us. Cloud cover is beyond our control. We can acquire data, but it will be images with cloud cover. Maybe there is miscommunication, but I don't know what kind of cloud cover we will have over Russia tomorrow. So 3 million includes cover and cloud and cloud-free images. It's the technical capability, the specification. Yes, thank you. Other questions? I'd like to add to what was said on planning and tasking. We taught representatives of Ministry of Emergency to operate 24/7, and many operators who cooperate with us must adhere to this principle of 24/7. So we agreed to work with them for the Ministry of Emergencies. So we taught them to work 24/7. The first such operator was ImageSat. So, according to agreement, if we make place an order until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they must deliver, no matter what, within the same day. Thank you very much once again.